Today what I'm going to do is go over 5 of my best training tips to help you build as much muscle as possible. Welcome back. What I'm going to do is a special one, and I might do a 3-part series on this one. You've probably heard of some of these tricks, but these are some of the stuff I've put into my training over the last 2 years, and I've seen a difference. And you might be like, Reece, you've not mentioned this one, you've not mentioned that one. I can still release another video, relax. So when it comes to an exercise, there is a strength profile. You're going to try and need to match it, whatever exercise you do. So there are better exercises than others that actually match your strength profile of your legs. So for example, I've got 2 ones here, I've got the leg press and I've got the hack squat. So where your knees are fully flexed, that's going to be the hardest position. So what you're wanting to happen is try and make it as easy as possible at the hardest position, where we are at our weakest. When it comes to the hack squat, the easiest part is at the top, so you don't need any help there, but when it comes to the bottom, you might need a little bit of help. And that's where bands come in. There are a few ways of doing it, but the best way I like to do it is back here, do 1 single loop, and then all you're going to do is take this round 1 and 2. So basically you're wrapping it around the shoulder part and the back panel. So I'll show you what happens. Let's go with a 20, 1 more. The band's not going to be working at the moment. Once I start to move down, then the band will start to kick in. You'll see at the back, so there's tension on the band now, so that will help me explode up. It'll help with recovery, so your knees are not going to take too much of the weight, and I just feel like it's a lot smoother. And you're going to ask as well, you can still use this exercise without the band, so it's not an issue. Speaking of that, what you can also do is use the band on the leg press to make it even harder or easier. You can tie it around here, wrap it around, so once it gets to the bottom, the band tightens, which means it's going to take some of the pressure off what you're lifting, and it just matches the strength profile a little bit more. When it gets to here, I'm at the strongest, okay? When it comes down to here, I'm at my weakest when I'm fully flexed. So you're wanting the band to kick in about at the bottom. To make it even harder, what you could do is wrap this band, if it was a little bit bigger, around the seat, around the pad, or if you've got 2 shorter ones, wrapping it around the handle in here. So what that would do is the opposite. It will actually increase the difficulty of the easiest part. So if you were to wrap it in the opposite way, when I get to here, the band tightens and it's making that bit harder. Instead of you going through the motions at this bit, you're actually having to push even harder. Lift the bands, you can get them on Amazon, My Protein, that's the ones I know. You can get them off other websites as well, but as long as it's thick enough to support the movement you're doing. Next tip we've got is utilising the elbow position to focus on certain parts of the back. So a lot of people just do a seated row, but what you need to remember is there's different parts of the back that you can utilise in a seated row, and you want to try and use the different grips and different elbow positions to help you work those certain parts. Just a few grips that I would actually recommend. I love this neutral one for my lats, and even for upper back, just a straight bar or D handles if you can get some. So when it comes to the back, if you're flaring your elbows up here and you're allowing the thoracic spine to curve as it usually should, then that will be the upper back. If I'm tucking the elbows in, as you can see, then that will be more lat bias. So if you're trying to work your lats and you're flaring your elbows out, you're not going to achieve the best results for your lats. You want to try and shorten the muscle as possible and keep it tight to your body. If you wanted to work your upper back, then you would go for something like this. Roll the shoulders forward and flare the elbows out. Always remember, the bigger the angle from your elbow to your body, the more upper back it's going to hit. If you're wanting more lats, remember, tuck in that elbow. Next one, a quite simple one, is actually just using the straps. I know people are against the straps, I used to be against the straps, because the main idea, if you're working your back, you want to work your back. You don't want to work your forearms, you don't want to work your grip. You're just focusing on the muscle you're trying to target. And I'll just put some weight on. So normally what happens is, if I'm getting to, let's just say 100 kilograms, and I know I can probably lift it, but it's dropping, I'm dropping it in like the second rep. Not because my muscles are exhausted, it's because my fingers, like my grip, ripping apart myself. That is the reason for straps. Got to mention as well, if you can allow the strap to run inside the thumb and the index finger. It has to go in the opposite direction of the way you're grabbing it. So if you're grabbing it over, you wrap under. So flip round, and all I do is just wrap it around. Once you get here, you can probably tighten it. So twist and then move. So that's tight. Okay, so I could probably hold that with one finger. Next one, pull that tight in your arm, round again, and then that's you tighten it, and that's you fixed in. All you need to do now is lift. The next tip, and you probably do it anyway, is pre-exhaust the muscles. And the purpose for pre-exhausting, in my opinion, is if you're going to do a compound exercise or a main lift and you've reached maximum weight, maximum reps, and you're just kind of fed up with it. Or, for example, my part is if I'm going to do the bench press, the dumbbell bench press, and I have got only 50s there, I've got no way of lifting anymore, and that's the reason for pre-exhaust. Because what it'll do is it'll bring the blood to the muscle, but it'll also weaken the muscle in time for that, so it will feel a lot harder and I won't need to lift as much. So a good useful one is the chest. If you can bring as much fluid in as possible, as much blood in as possible with a chest fly, and then do your bench press, you won't need to lift as much and it will feel even harder. I'm not saying do this every time, I'm just saying if you want to change it up every so often, or you feel like you've maxed on a certain weight and a certain exercise, is that might be the spark you need. The good thing is, see if you're on holiday as well and you're in one of the hotel gyms and you've not got enough weight, you can just do this. So pre-exhaust the muscle, then go do your main lift, and just time under tension, it will feel much harder. Okay, the last tip we're going to do is utilising lengthen and shorten dice movements. Take the bicep for example. In front of your body, we focus more on the short head. Behind the body, focus more on the long head, brachialis as well. But when you do an exercise, triceps, biceps, anything, you're going to try and focus on the shortened position first, so the shortened biceps movement. So let's just break down the biceps one first. If I was to start with, let's just say, an incline, it would mean that I'm focused on the lengthened position first, and then if I was to go to a preacher curl after it, it would be much harder. I wouldn't be able to lift as much, I wouldn't be able to get as many reps. If you can, focus on the shortened position first. But once you've reached full fatigue on the shortened position, then what you're going to do is go to a lengthened bicep position, which is the incline. Once you finish your shortened position, you might not be able to come all the way up, but this movement focuses on this portion of the movement. So if you're getting to about there, it's absolutely fine. That is the only issue. If I was to do that one first, then the preacher curls, I would not be able to do as many reps and as much weight. Take the tricep extension and the skull crushers. If I was to do the skull crushers first, I wouldn't be able to shorten my muscle as much as I could on the tricep extension. Another one you could possibly say is the leg extension and the hat squat. So that's just another wee example of how you can actually bias the shortened position first, then the lengthen. So like I said, there's going to be another episode, probably 2 more episodes, showing the best tricks and tips just for the gym, just to show what's most effective to build the muscle. And it might be one that suits you, there might be like 1 out of the 15 that suits you, and that's okay. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to drop it a like, and if you're not currently subscribed, hit the subscribe button, as there will be more videos like this. And if you want to, you can hit the alarm bell, as this will notify you when I've uploaded a new video. And like I said, it could be more videos like this. If you're interested in some online coaching, you could go down to the description and hit on the application form, or you can just message me on Instagram as well. I've just released my own fitness app as well. The download link is in the description as well for Apple and Android. If you wanted to go and find something different to try and help your training, nutrition and make progress, download it now. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the socials at the bottom, so my Instagram and the TikTok, also the Instagram for the app as well, so you can keep updated with the new releases. And yeah, people, stay safe, stay positive, stay grateful, and I will see you in the next one.